Well, shit. Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 33, Season 2 Attack on Titan. For all of the insane, kick-ass grappling going on between Eren and Reiner in the previous episode, it was all for naught, man. And this was something I was pointedly speculating back and forth with a couple of you guys in the comments on my previous episode discussion video to say, it was expert how Eren was calling back on his former training, whether grappling back and forth with Annie, to Reiner himself, all of the moves and everything that he was taught by these guys respectively. He was finally cognizant in his Titan form. He wasn't just running fueled on adrenaline, fueled on instinct. You know, he was able to apply these thought processes to his actual physical grappling with Reiner as the armored Titan. And, but it still didn't shape up to anything. He was taken. He was swept away, much as Ymir was, in the mouths of babes, in a sense. You know, we had, of course, Bertolt as the Colossal Titan swallowing up Ymir temporarily, though it may have been, to make sure he could whisk her away. And similarly so in the grappling, when the armored Titan lets out that roar. Of course, this is when Bertolt knows to fall down on top of him like a giant missile, and giving, of course, Reiner's armored Titan the upper hand to bite down into Eren's Titan form neck and steal him away as well. And to see the waste that lay in the aftermath of that. I mean, everybody got affected. Mikasa, Hanji was even knocked out, the whole lot of them. Anyone who was just above where, you know, that impact ended up happening, luckily got away, but not unscathed. But anyone below that, forget it. They're fucked. They're fried. They're gone. They don't name drop. They don't name names as to who might have been dispatched. But we didn't know about them, so it's like, who cares anyway, if anyone did. And really, I was surprised that, you know, yet again, this entire season is relying a lot on flashbacks. But I really, really appreciated this one, calling back once again to refamiliarize we, the viewer, with the relationship between Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, respectively. Armin having had a loaf of bread or whatever it was stolen from him that was going to feed his family for some time by these three bullies, and Eren sought, you know, to basically go and get that back for him. Eren, as you know, Hannes basically says, he's the kind of cat who's going to walk into trouble because he has this right, moral, just appraisal of the scenario. You know, if people are being sort of subjected to wrongdoing, bullying, and things of that nature, he wants to make it right. He wants to stand up for them, even if he doesn't really have much on his end of things. He doesn't really, there's not much he can bring to the table as far as toughness and fighting ability goes. He has his ass handed to him time and time again, you know, but he never backs down. He never gives up. That's sort of the through line. It's not, you know, go and seek out fights all the time willy-nilly and you know, try to get up in people's faces. That can be very dangerous. He was always fueled by doing the most righteous thing, the right thing. And, you know, but when defeated, he wouldn't let that defeat spell out the whole rest of his life. He wouldn't stand defeated. He would get back up to his feet if he could. He'd keep going for the just, righteous cause that he really truly believed in. And but time and time again, as we see, was it left to Mikasa to come in and pick up the other end of that and actually be the one to come in and kick all kinds of ass. And seeing Mikasa as, you know, her younger version again in that flashback, actually going ahead and doing that. And the whole brawl that ensues with Hannes, and, you know, the military police of the day are getting all drunk and everything, and they're just like having a blast, thinking it's hilarious that the kids are fighting while the, you know, the little shop owner or whatever, the little stall, is like screaming at them, get off your asses, stop this, it's getting worse and worse. And then he punches Hannes. Hannes decides to throw it out with this guy. The whole scenario was like a Three Stooges routine. I was laughing my ass off. And I thoroughly enjoyed it because, again, it stabilizes and refamiliarizes in your own mind how much love and compassion and friendship there was between Eren, Mikasa, and Armin. And now, once again, they find Eren has been taken away. This time he didn't run away of his own accord. He was taken. But it's still the same scenario. They're still having to worry about him and have to worry about chasing him down, finding him, helping him, saving him from himself, as well as whatever threat happens to be holding him. In this case, of course, Bertolt and Reiner. And it's the same old, just as Hannah says, it's the same old equation. And all of them. You know, I love his sort of awakening words to basically instill in them, you know, this is the way Eren is. This is, he always, you know, he's not looking for a fight, but he's always trying to do, you know, the better, the greater good. And he ends up in fight after fight because of it. And he's just trying to stand up for the little guy. He's trying to stand up for those who are picked on. And he doesn't know when to quit. He just keeps going because of that righteous cause, that moral value deep within him. He'll keep getting up. He'll keep standing back on his feet. And he'll keep going until he wins the day. Or someone intervenes and wins it for him, a la Mikasa. And I love that, you know, they wake up. Mikasa wakes up. You know, Armin's all right for the most part. But Mikasa is the first to wake up. And she's complaining of some kind of pain in her head that I'm really fearful of. I really hope this is not fucking like, you know, some terminal disease where Mikasa will eventually die or something like that. You know, but it's something she's experienced before, and Armin's asking after her about it. And she's at a loss. She's like, what's going on? Nobody's going after Eren. How can this be? You know, she's almost panicking about the idea of how far along this has gone. It's like 5 hours later, whatever it is, as Armin tells her, nothing can be done. Nothing has been done because nothing can be done. They need to wait until they can shift the horses over the wall before they get sent out. Potentially a scout group and all this shit. And it's just like, you know, in that moment to see Mikasa rendered so ineffectual, so helpless, it's like the last thing she can conceive of ever being. And it's tragic for that, you know, in that moment to really call back on the fact of how all this played out with Reiner and Bertolt, how it all played out with Eren. You know, even if he did hold his own a little bit there, even if he did apply those strategic grappling moves and everything, he still did not win the day. He still suffered a loss, and he was taken for it. And so his you know, fastest friends, his security, his posse, the one, Mikasa, the one who comes and saves him, was rendered useless, was rendered ineffectual. I don't think there's any more a weakened time that Mikasa has ever experienced for herself. She feels like there's nothing they can do. But again, with Hannes' words, that installation of, you know, hey, think about Eren. If he finds himself up against these two guys, he ain't giving up. He's not going anywhere. He's going to fight with his last frickin' breath. And it seems like a tip of the hat to the next episode with the PV. You know, he comes to at the end of this episode in the woods where Hanji ends up suspecting they're going because they need to sort of stay under cover and stay out of sight of any roving titans overnight and all of that stuff, or rather the day long, so they can travel at night. And she figures that's where they're going. And of course, that's where Eren wakes up, and there is Ymir, and apparently Ymir is going to hold him back from actually tightening out. And it's going to be interesting to see why that is. What Ymir knows. Obviously, she knows a lot more than she's let on. And it seemed in a previous episode that Reiner got the gist of that with that little can of food, where she could read the text. And, you know, I wasn't clear at the time whether he could or not, but apparently he understood enough. Oh, wait, you can read it too? You know, so like they have some concerns about Ymir, whether it's just strictly the fact that she is also a Titan shifter as well, or maybe they suspect she knows something they don't, and they want to get that intel off of her, you know, out of her. But for whatever her own reasons may be, you know, I can't wait to find out what they are. She is telling Eren to hold back for the time being. It could actually be kind of fucking awesome if they both tighten out and they both go after, you know, Reiner and Bertolt at the same time. Doubt that's going to happen. And anyway, Ymir's Titan form is somewhat small, a little diminutive compared to Aaron's, but that would be fucking awesome. And the other half of this episode is really calling back over to the current state of the military police and the Irwin cat, who we haven't seen in forever, and they're now the cavalry coming to aid, and they're gonna scout out and seek out Aaron and try to find him. And so, I'm going to be waiting with bated breath as usual to find out what the next, element of this is going to be. I really kind of hope, because it seems like there's going to be some heated exchanges going on verbally so between Aaron and Reiner. I really hope we get some more information about what the modus operandi of both he and Bertolt have been, why they're doing this, why they're Titans, how they became so, why they are so bent on destroying humanity. Presumably they've been put up to it. They've been given a serum or something that would create their Titan forms and whatever like that. They were tested on. Maybe they applied to that willingly. Maybe it was something unwilling. But it seems very much like whatever they're trying to carry out, whatever they're trying to dole out on humanity, is not of their own accord. They are working for someone else's purposes. I hope we find out a little bit more about whom that might be. We do see the Beast Titan briefly, and I suspect whomever that is probably the cat who's overseeing all of this. He's probably the guy who put most of this into motion. If it isn't Aaron's father, somebody gave me a little bit of a hint that, I had speculated could, because Ymir is also a shifter, could there be some relation between she and Aaron? And the person said, no, but you're kind of on the right track. So someone out there that isn't Aaron's father, apparently, could be involved. And whom could that be? What other kind of relation? A cousin, a unknown sibling, something like that. We know his mother died. She died the first episode. Can't be her. So what exactly is going on? I hope we find out that much more. I don't expect them to really reveal all that much, because we only have a couple episodes left, really, for this particular season, and I don't know when the next stage is eventually going to come down the pike. And from what I garner from some of the conversations I've been seeing, the manga is still very much ongoing, and a lot of these things are only now in the manga just coming about in the story and being hinted at and revealed that much more. So what are we talking about? Season 3 and 4 before we get there in the anime? I don't know. But it's just, it was an enjoyable episode to get to know and spend so much more time with Mikasa and her past and her relationship with Eren and everything. Compared to the last episode especially, but the last few, I could see people saying, yeah, this was kind of a boring episode. Nothing really happened. We just saw the tail end of the fight between Eren and Reiner, and they made off with him, and we only catch up with him again to the, at the end of the episode, and all the stuff that was going on. It was more, the political posturing and what are the military police and Irwin, when they learn about this, what are they going to do, and all that kind of stuff. And again, getting in the mind of Mikasa, that was a large chunk of this episode. So I could see people being dissatisfied with it, thinking, well, this was kind of boring, this was slow, this wasn't much. I, on the other hand, very contrary to that, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I just can't wait to see what, especially between Eren and Reiner, that verbal exchange that is coming. I can't wait to see what is revealed, what is discussed. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of this particular episode, episode 33 of Season 2 of Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin. What you thought of it, love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Just love having that conversation. And yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well. I'll catch you all later. Peace.